Okay, what up there, everybody? You are now under the black top, where we try to get our act together and find unity in the circle of life and friendship. I am Billy.
I'm Timbo.
And I am Ray. How are you guys doing? It's nice to see you.
Nice to be seen.
Awesome, awesome. Man, we
Nice to
got,
see you guys.
yes, man, it's a new day. Man, it's a new year. We got a new
Right.
president. Lions about to get a
Completely.
new quarterback. Like, it's a lot going
Speaking
on.
of president, are you wearing an American flag, Timbo?
Yeah, but it's not. It's kind of like altered. Obviously, it's just yeah. But yeah, it's
Patriotic today. Okay.
There you go. There you go. You happy that we switched offices?
yes. I'm very happy.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm elated. I'm over the moon. All of that.
I feel that, man. How y'all been though? Timbo, how you been? It's been a while since we actually recorded.
Yes, it's been
What's
a
going on?
minute. Same old, same old. Doing these paintings and trying to establish myself on Instagram at Obalorentico Art. That's all together. OBALAURENTICOART. Just have to put that plug in there because that's what I do. Uh, and just really trying to enjoy my life for what I'm doing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Billy, how you been?
Fantastic.
Fan.
Weathering the storm of everyday life, but
Right, the storms of life.
but we're good, my G. We are
Oh man.
good. I do want to ask you something. So you are a parent, right?
I am.
Okay. How old is your son?
My son. See, it's funny that you asked me that because so many people have asked me that in the last like month. But he will be
Okay.
7 in March. He's 6 now.
Wow.
Wow.
And I
Time
feel
flies.
bad because he spent, his whole 6 in the house for the most part.
I
Wow.
spent my whole 30 in the house, so
Hey, bored in the house and you in the house bored.
no
So
lie.
imagine your kid. It's about 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all out shopping,
Okay.
and this is what happened to me. You got, you got this guy in here with his kid. He got his daughter in the stroller, and he got his
Okay.
son walking around. So the kid is like looking at me, but not looking at me, and his dad is trying to pick out something to buy. And the kid sticks his finger, and he goes up his nose, and he
Oh
starts digging,
no.
and he starts to kind of turn his back towards me, and I keep watching him, and then he kind of bends back and then eats it, and then like he kind of turns away, and he's smiling. And this is what I want to know, bro. If your son is out here eating boogers, do you want to know this? Because I felt like I should have told him, because so he can like nip that in the bud and get him to break this habit. But then I'm like, is it my place?
Oh man, that's a great question. It really comes down to parenting, man, because I think that some parents at that point they would be embarrassed, and I think for them to be embarrassed, they would probably be more upset at you, like, man, leave my booger eating kid alone. We eat boogers around here. Like they would probably be more aggressive as opposed to being like, oh,
Yeah,
thank you, bad Johnny.
Right.
right. But
How would
would
I?
you want
I I I probably would want to know if my kid eating boogers.
to in
Like
public though?
in
Like you
public,
don't
though.
feed him.
I
During
mean, at
Corona.
all though. Like if you just find out that
Mm.
you just a booger eater, like that's a little much, man.
A lot of much.
I don't know, man. What would I have done in that situation? See, I didn't see me. I probably would have played the middle ground. I would have been like, "Oh, come on, little man, don't do that." Like one of
Right.
those little things, like talk to the kid, like, "No, don't eat your no." One of those kind of things. Kind of just play it off with
Yeah,
the kid.
And you can do that with adults too. You really can.
That's
It's
true.
the
You kind
same
of got to
thing.
read the room.
Yep.
Like it's a little, it's a lady. Hey man, hey lady, your kid over here eating eating boogers. I don't know, man. You might be able to finesse that. I don't know, man. I've been out the
I
game for a
couldn't.
second. I don't know. Well, see, I know you.
I
Your
couldn't.
rule number one, you ain't gonna finesse nothing with. Well, she might be an auntie though, man. You don't know. I assumed you were gonna say that you weren't gonna try to finesse that because you wouldn't approach a young lady with children. Or is that
No,
an assumption to me? Oh, okay. Somebody say you like,
no,
oh
no.
no, your kid eat boogers. I'm not trying to talk to no booger.
No, man, I just rather leave it alone because not apparently, I assume the kid will grow out of it. But you'd be surprised how old a person can get and still eat boogers.
It sounds
That's a
like you're
big
speaking
deal.
from experience. Who you know? Can
I'm
you
not gonna
elaborate a
put
little bit?
nobody out there.
I mean, okay.
I've seen some outrageous. You know how you see a kid that's too old for a stroller?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like that. Like you way too old. You almost old enough to drink. Like, stop it.
Okay.
I've
Well,
seen this.
hey, some habits are hard to break, man. I guess.
I'm so over this.
So basically, what you're saying for future reference, though, in the future when you got a little kid running around, if I see them eating boogers, I should tell you, let you know. 'Cause
I don't
You,
know. I
you
don't know if I should tell the
you
parent
don't
or
know
not.
if I'm saying, would you want to know?
I don't know. I'm like on the fence with you because I'd be a little disappointed that my kid was eating boogers and I didn't catch it. This is an in-house problem. Somebody just pointed
It,
this out to me. I don't like that.
and that's kind of
Um,
where I was coming from, where the parents would kind of be embarrassed. It's like, oh man, I got caught
yeah.
out in public with my kid eating
But it's
boogers.
not your
Like,
fault. It's
I
just
mean,
like salty snacks, man. It's not your fault.
man,
Can't help it.
that is crazy. On that one, man, we did an
Yes.
album this this week.
hmm
We did an album. This was one of the
uh,
weeks where we were choosing between albums that we don't really gravitate to or wouldn't really listen to initially, right? I think that I ended up picking this one through
Okay.
the ways that be. Timbo, you want to talk a little
yeah.
more about that?
Yes. This episode we did BTS. It's their album B. It came out November 20th of last year, 2020, and it's K-pop. So I would. It's not actually. Could anybody read what it says on the cover? Because they wrote a little message on there, but I haven't been able to blow up the cover to look at it.
Um, Life goes on.
Oh, so is that the track then? Those are the
Yeah.
tracks. Okay, cool. So we can
Well,
just go.
no, because the second one is what fly. Um, yeah, fly to my room. I think is the second track. What does that
Okay.
say? Life goes on, like in something in the forest,
It might be the lyrics
like
from
an
the like
arrow
on
in the
song.
blue sky.
Yeah, interesting.
Until
Well, because I'm like, we're not gonna
yeah.
talk about that part because I didn't read it. So, but as far as sonically, what did you guys think?
Man. Personally, it was interesting for me, because initially I was like, oh, I thought that it was gonna be a little more English in it,
Same.
but I really could see why they were popular. And I think that if they were over here just speaking English, that they would be like just as popular over here. It's not music that I would listen to, but I get it. Like, and so it was really interesting hearing how they just kind of how just the sound and how it's just more of a universal sound and not necessarily always the lyrics are what's being said.
Right.
I found that really compelling.
Yeah. Same.
I,
Did
I
like
agree
how it
with you.
sounded. Okay, go ahead. You want to start?
I'm sorry, man. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with you 100%, man. I like the sounds. I like the music. Still a little bit of of course, a gap just because I don't know what they're saying, and I can't. I wasn't when I was listening to it. Time got away from me this time, so I listened to this album once. I didn't go back and read any of the lyrics, and it just it was okay. It was music I liked. I liked the beats, and I didn't know what they were singing about. Yeah, and even if I did read the lyrics, there's still a disconnection there because I can't
Mm-hmm.
equate it to it being in real time. That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
It
So I
does
just
to
feel like
me.
there's always be that
Okay.
gap or disconnection. But I do love This Ease. That was
Okay.
probably my favorite record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that's funny that you say that. I got that starred as my favorite as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
it's just funny because I was listening to the album and I'm like, man, I really wish I knew what they were saying. Okay, I'm gonna try to look up the lyrics. No, I don't need to. I'm just gonna vibe. But then I got to the skit and I was like, okay, now hold up. I gotta stop. I gotta listen, find these lyrics. So I grabbed my
yeah,
phone I go to the Genius app because that's usually just where I go, and I type in the B album, and darn it, all the doggone lyrics was in not in English. It wasn't in English. I didn't realize till today that they also have an
The
English
English.
version on there. But yeah, so I went through there like just confused,
Well,
and
I'm
I
sorry
thought
to
it was
hear.
so funny. I'm like, when they bleeped in the skit, I'm like, did they redact the name? Did somebody curse? Like, do they not
Yeah,
curse? Like, I was just so I was so confused. But it was funny to me, just being able to listen to that music, and it made me start to think about how popular kind of American music is, and how all these English speaking songs go all around the world, and a lot of people even learn English through music. So I couldn't do anything but just kind of sit back and chuckle as I listened to this whole, diatribe of this foreign language. But this all means something to somebody enough to put on the album. It kind of
Right.
blew my mind a little bit.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I did get the English translation. It in a lot of ways it still didn't completely help because it to me it gets even more confusing when you translate it into English in some certain instances. But I did like the sonics of it. It sounded like they almost had a guy in there who raps or something, kind
Yeah,
of like
that's what
that
it
flow.
sounded like.
Yeah,
And I didn't actually physically look. Is there a girl in there too, or no?
I
Do
was
you
wondering
know?
that
I
as
don't know.
well. It
Wasn't
seems
the
like
same
at
thing.
some times I heard like a lighter voice.
Right. Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I didn't look.
So we got to do our research on that. But yeah, I loved disease and telepathy. Uh, and
yeah.
I
I
can't
like
remember
telepathy
exactly
too.
what song,
Yeah. I put
but one
single
song was
word
about
disease.
quarantine, and a couple of them were about what's going on kind of right now type of thing. It was actually more on a larger scale. They were trying to connect with their fans. I think telepathy, I read on Rap Genius, was about them trying to connect with their fans through virtually now since they can't tour because they were getting ready to go on the tour when everything hit. So
Okay.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I liked a lot of it. Like even not being able to hear, exactly what they were saying. Like the songs, like you said, telepathy. I put single worthy on there. I'm like that sounded like a single to me. And
yeah,
honestly, that last one was a dynamite, man.
Yeah,
Put Bruno
dynamite.
Mars on there. I swear, it just needed like Bruno Mars on there, and it's just like throw that on the radio,
It was dope.
and we be
It
there.
was
Like,
dope, man.
so it was just really
It's
cool
dope.
just to be able to
It
connect
was
to
dope.
just a lot of music and that was the only one that was, I guess, in English for the most part too.
yeah, hmm
Wonder why that was. If they were trying to maybe connect to more an American audience, or what it was. I don't know because they kind of had some English kind of peppered in to
yeah,
Yeah.
just the music anyway. So, but yeah, all in all, I thought it was really cool. There was a few songs on there that I really liked. So
hmm
it was interesting.
yeah,
I see why they popular. I definitely get that. I know they were like mega popular, so I get it.
yeah,
Would
definitely.
you listen to them again? Or those songs, the songs that you really liked, would you listen to them again?
No, it's interesting. At least like Dynamite, I would throw that on like KJ's playlist, like in the
Okay.
car. So I could listen to that like when he's in the car, that kind of thing. Like it was a couple of them that I could see maybe. I have different playlists for different kind of feelings, so I could see maybe a couple of them making the playlist. But then I would be annoyed because I don't know exactly what they're saying, so I have to do a little more research to at least figure it out. But that would be cool. What you thinking, Billy?
I watched this random video about Questlove, and this man says he tries to find or discover 100 songs a day, and he makes playlists like that. I don't. I feel like maybe I heard it wrong, but that's a lot of listening, though. That's a
That
lot
is
of
a
music.
lot of listening.
But you probably develop your ear so well, man.
But
A
wow,
hundred songs a day.
the day.
That just made me think. That's what I thought about when you talked about your playlist.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's just
commitment.
no, it is to even find 100 new songs a day
Yep.
is
Yep.
yeah. How do you find the
That's wild.
time?
Right.
He said he would do it on his taxi drives, I guess, between wherever he's going,
Uh,
because everything is in the city. It's on his drives
we'll
or,
see,
or
man.
cab drives.
Yeah, and I guess I could see that though. It kind of speaks to his commitment to and his love, for, and his passion for kind of what he does. Just
Did you know he was curly?
I did not know that. No, I did
It's
not know.
he did that, but he did it so well, man. I had no
That is
idea.
awesome. I did not know that at all. Wow.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers are from here on out. What are we talking about, fellas?
Now, we got a great movie that we saw. Soul.
Okay.
Um,
So,
the Pixar movie,
yeah.
which is now streaming on Disney Plus. I believe it came out on Christmas. And yeah, so we all took a look at it, and we just thought it was interesting enough to bring it to the table and talk about. There was a lot
Good.
of good points in there when I kind of saw it that I thought was. I wanted to know what you guys also thought.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So what did y'all think about it?
I really like the movie, man. I really like the animation. First time I watched it 3 times. First time I watched it, I was just so amazed by how real his sweater looked, how real everything else looked, but
Right.
how well distinguished um, things were. You can tell that he was animated, but then you can really tell the quality of his clothes and how well they just married the two qualities, I guess, of animation. It was really fun, man.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was pretty cool too. I only got the chance to see it once. I was a little pressed for time,
Okay.
but my favorite thing about everything was the music. The music was even when the band was going and it was horrible. I still liked the way it sounded. So yes, and they did do a great job with the animation. It was it was quite interesting and it took you to a lot of different places. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I also thought it was a really good movie, which I figured it would be good because when does Pixar really not put out a good movie?
Yeah.
So I was going into it with the understanding that it would probably be good. I think the last movie that they put out, I think they put out two movies last year. It was that one, and was it Onward, I believe, was the other one.
mhm,
And it's interesting because they both kind of deal with some kind of heavy situations and different kind of topics, and it's interesting just seeing that trend in kids movies over the past like few years.
mhm.
It's
I it may be a little bit early to say this. I will say that I felt though it was still a little bit too heavy for kids to understand. Like
mhm,
they use the word hypothetical. It's like a baby is not even gonna understand that concept.
right.
So that was my only thing. Is I think that they should have geared it more towards adults a little bit more. But mind you, something death is something that you need to talk to kids about. But it was
Hmm.
just yeah, I just that was just my thought on that part.
Well, considering that, what age do you think um, these kids are really starting to have trouble with or are aware of searching for a purpose or a reason for living?
I don't know if you can put an age on it. Some people know
I
as
mean, just what do you think? You know, when does that question start popping up in the kid's head? It's around 14. Is it 17, 18? Later in
possibly
life, you know.
possibly around 12 or 13, possibly.
So I
Uh
think that that movie reaches across to around 12 and 13 and up pretty well.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's an interesting question, though. I mean, if you ask a 5-year-old, what do you want to
hmm
be when you grow
yeah.
up? They already got something in their head. I think you're already kind of developing those kind of thoughts and those concepts, and you kind of see things.
But
For
do they? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. What were you about to ask? Do they?
Do they associate it with purpose and then associate that purpose with a reason for living? Though
I don't
that
think
seems
so.
like the
Not
movie
at
really
five.
deals with
Yeah,
that kind of weird entanglement. Yeah, maybe we just have things routed, wrong or weird about how we approach life. At least that's what I kind of picked up on it.
yeah. They had a lot of interesting concepts, kind of like that when they were talking about just like the whole spark, right? You got to find a
Yeah.
spark. And I was kind of wrestling with it, like, do you really need like a spark to enjoy life?
Mhm.
Um,
No.
yeah,
Oh, maybe you
and
do. I mean,
well, I don't think so. No. I guess personally, I feel like you don't have to be like awesome at something or like completely immerse yourself and have this immense passion for something to enjoy things to have a great life experience. Like even I think the movie kind of even points to that a little bit. If you look at
Hmm.
like 22 and living through Joe and the scenes where she was in his body,
Hmm.
it was the small stuff that she kind of liked. It was,
Hmm.
the taste of pizza, watching the little
Yeah.
helicopters kind of fall down, and like the feeling of getting a nice fresh haircut, that like that kind of
Hmm.
thing. That,
Okay, I need one.
The
bro.
little thing. You ain't the only one, man. I got a hat on for a reason.
So, so yeah, so it was interesting how just watching that movie just kind of naturally made me kind of just think about some of these questions on just life and what does it mean to experience life? Because I'm sure
Right.
that Joe, to a point, felt that he had a good life, but then when
Hmm.
after he died and they went into the hall of his life and he was kind of walking and looking, he was like, wait, who? Wait, I don't remember it like this. Like, what's going on? And he kind of saw that he wasn't really living the life that he thought he was.
Hmm.
So
Or
it's
living
Yeah.
just,
fully.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, there was something I really didn't understand. I talked to a friend of mine. He helped me understand better when he finally played. He got the gig, and he played, and he was just expecting more.
Hmm.
For me, I think that talks to a lot of people, but a lot of
Hmm.
people understand that once you got the gig, now you just got a new job. It's not a. It's the conversation of maybe career versus a moment. Where he was really concerned about a moment versus being trying to build a career. Even though he's been trying to build a career, if you're playing with her, you keep playing with it. That's what happens next. So it seems like he was disappointed, maybe because he just didn't have a fair perspective. Maybe he put too much on the dream, or I guess he just didn't think about what would happen after you got a chance to do it.
Yeah, that scene was very interesting. I actually put a note
Yeah,
on that too. It's almost like he built it up in his head and he had
Too
just this
much, yeah.
expectation of what it was going to
yeah,
be, and when I do this and it's going to be perfect, and it's going to be great, and you get there and you realize that, okay, this is still life. It's
yeah.
still things you have to do. It's like you said, it's a
Right.
job. It's like it's
Right.
great
It
while
don't
you
stop
in
being a
it,
job.
but you know I almost felt bad for him in that moment, because you can kind of see the realization of it all, kind of come to him. Yeah, that was a
But
really heavy scene.
it's really good to be in that place because you're forced to enjoy life. Because where you thought it was,
Hmm.
you finally reached where you thought you couldn't search, and you
Right.
searched there, and then it wasn't there. So now you can start to look some other places, and you end up finding out that it's been around you the whole time.
Exactly, and I think that that's kind of what he experienced in that moment. It was just that
Hmm.
realization of, okay, this is what I thought I wanted, and I have it.
Hmm.
Okay, now let's do something else. And I think, of course, with the culmination of everything they kind of went through in the movie, he was right in
Yeah.
that feeling too of, okay, let me, do more. Let me live for more. It's more than
Right.
just, trying to have this moment, or it's more than just being, great at one thing. It's more than just trying
Hmm.
to find a perfect job. Life is about a lot of little things, a lot of little moments, a lot of
Hmm.
happy moments that kind of make the overall a good thing. That's why I like when they even went into that kind of hall. It was a lot of moments. It wasn't just, oh,
Hmm.
look at this teacher. They showed people being teachers and they showed them doing this and they showed them doing this and they showed them doing that. A lot of different little things that make the overall person. And I think that that was just kind of dope, just how they kind of showed that.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that you could ever really understand without getting that far? Can you understand that you can have a happy life without this thing that you've built up, without ever reaching it to know that that's not where the answer was in the first place? It feels like that's just a necessary part of it.
Um, No, I don't know. I think that it's on my mindset personally. I think that that's
Okay.
something that we try to do, right? I think even in you watching that movie, which is one of the things I didn't like, but in watching the movie, when you kind of get to the end, I think that they want the audience to kind of feel like Joe feels. Like when he comes back, he almost feels like he has a second chance. Let me do things a little differently. And I think that to a
Mhm.
point, they want the audience to kind of walk out of the theater or, in the movie kind of thinking like, okay, wait, what am I doing? Am I looking too seriously at certain things? Am I too obsessed with certain things? Do I need to, spend more time with my kids? So I need to kind of pull back and just notice, the leaves on the trees, And I think that if you can keep yourself in that mindset, I think you absolutely can. Just live in a
Mhm.
moment and try to just be thankful. But it's a constant mindset, man. The world is so crazy. It's like it
Right.
doesn't take, it's nothing for you to be obsessed with something and now you looking at election news for the
Right.
next 3 months or certain, whatever,
Right.
whatever.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
I ask because being sometimes that having that same obsession, the desire doesn't go away
hmm
unless you reach it and you figure out, oh, it's not. There's what I thought was here wasn't here.
hmm
But the desire is so strong, you've got to find out.
hmm
That's why I asked
well,
because
yeah, I
I
think that
wonder
it's
if can you really know without going that far and learning for yourself what you thought was there just wasn't.
okay. I get what you mean. Yeah, I think with that,
Especially in music.
yeah, I think with that to not do it would cause regret though, because you would live with
Yes.
that what if. Oh, I could have did this, or oh, I should have did this, or especially if you straight turn down opportunities, or something like that, or if you choose not to, take the step because you're too afraid or something like that. I think that
Right.
it would just cause more regret. So I think that for those, absolutely go for it. And you do have to get to that point to realize that maybe the grass ain't greener, or oh, I thought this was what it was, but it's not. So now what?
You
Right.
gotta just put your because putting you can't put all your eggs in one basket type of thing. It's like you're looking so forward. He was looking so forward to the gig. He got it, and it's just like it wasn't even enough
hmm
because
It
it's just
wasn't.
you can't put everything in one thing. You
Right,
just it doesn't matter what it is. This whole thing is so much bigger than that, and that's what the movie was basically about.
right.
And no matter how much you love it,
Uh-huh.
Wait,
oh no, you didn't get
I did.
my favorite thing about the movie before
it. What's your favorite thing, bro?
the thing I loved about this movie, um,
Uh-huh.
the black hair. That barbershop scene was the
Hmm.
best scene in
Oh
this whole movie,
man,
man.
it
It
was
was
dope. It was so dope.
everything from the J's that my man was wearing to the little
And
sneak
how bad
disses.
his hair looked.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
reaction from the barbershop when he took the hat off, the full beard and how you could see the texture in the
Right.
hair. They did such a good job with this animation. That was one of
yeah,
my
Hmm.
favorite scenes, man. I just had to shout
yeah,
out that, man. That was probably my favorite part of that whole movie. And my man was mad hating and being just it was just
he
funny,
was.
this whole thing. You got 22 just kind of trying to experience life and my man's over there just being a mad hater and then she got that good job being at the end. So I thought
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, 22 was going in on him.
I thought it
He
was
ought to
really
use that speed. Like, well, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. How about that?
uh,
Right.
so y'all ain't had no issues. Did y'all have any religious issues with it? I know
I was
both of y'all
not trying
being,
to go there.
okay, I get
I,
that.
I
I
kind
get
of
that.
I kind of did though, but that's to me why I was like I was concerned about maybe it being marketed to kids that were possibly too young
Okay.
because I mean, but it's different for everybody, and I'm not trying to put my personal religious beliefs on anything, but it was a something that I had to kind of like work around a little bit. It
Mhm.
didn't take from any enjoyment. It's just the whole afterlife thing is a lot that we don't know about it, so it's hard a hard subject to tackle.
Mhm.
So
I think that it was just cool to see an interpretation, somebody else's thoughts, what they thought, because I guess everything that we have right now is just somebody else's thoughts concerning the idea in general. You know, we
mhm.
believe some things more than the other, but it was just I didn't have to compare it to anything. I just accepted it for what it was, and just wondered. I wonder if something's like that, because how do
Right.
you really know?
Okay. Okay, I
So
feel that. I feel that.
yeah,
Last question. Um,
yeah.
I guess before we move on, anyway, because I was just kind of just jotting down notes. Not to say that I even had an issue with. Well, I don't know how I felt about this. Do you feel that this is an example, of a movie where they are taking the black voice away from, a male character or a black character, not even necessarily male, because we have examples of animations where they do that. You look at like Princess and the Frog, where we got a black queen who's a frog the whole movie, or even the one that
Right.
just came out, The Spies in Disguise, where Will Smith was a pigeon the whole movie. And in this movie in particular, I guess they took him out his body and put
Right.
the voice of a white woman in his body. I'm
Right.
just asking if you guys saw it, and if you thought
No,
about it.
not the voice, the soul.
The There we go. Yeah.
Uh,
Let's be
I
right.
mean, if we just talk about the movie, um, I thought about it, and I mean, I guess if we're honest, we're probably gonna be seeing that for the next how long?
I
What?
mean,
I mean, I don't want to say I've accepted it, but you just kind of look at it for what it is, man. That's the
that's
best I
true.
got because I definitely thought about it. Thought a
It's
lot
crazy that
about
we
it.
think about it, man. I went back and I was thinking about how long has it happened. Remember that movie Emperor's New Groove?
Hmm.
Yep.
Then they turned him into a llama.
They did.
Yep.
Wasn't he a person of color?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's just interesting. Not to say that this movie didn't
That's
have
what
a
was
lot of
keeping
good
me from
concepts
watching.
and that they didn't do black well. I just find it interesting that
Right.
they go to the well, um, for these things over and over again.
So that was the biggest
It's
issue
it,
I for me.
Yeah,
it
that was
doesn't
probably
get away.
that was one of my issues. And I didn't necessarily like. I think that the movie would have been better if he would have just had come to peace with going to the
Right.
other side and actually went to the other side instead of getting a reprieve. But it's a Pixar movie, I
Right.
get it.
And to me, the plot kind of I got lost in the plot. I was not following that because it was just like he was coming back, he was going. It was a lot going on. So that was another thing. That just goes to the writing, though.
Yeah,
But like Will was saying, it's somebody's interpretation of something, and art is what it is. But I was just like, it was hard for me to follow that part.
yeah. But I think
What
all in
part?
all,
The whole middle, if I'm being real. Besides, it just because what is 22? Another dimensional being, another
see,
dimension,
yeah,
like
that's interesting. She's like a
She
pre-soul,
was a
right? Like a soul in the
yes.
making.
Who was trying who was trying to skip life. She literally said, I get to skip life. She didn't
Which is
want to do anything.
that's a whole different topic. Yeah,
mhm.
she was like, oh, if I could just get
So
you the Earth thing, I can just, yeah,
skip all of this BS and trying and effort and jumping and dealing with your fear of living and
yeah.
also being disappointed.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah, this movie did deal
Yeah,
with a
bro.
lot of self doubt and kind of just self
Yeah.
esteem issues, and a lot of that it did well. This movie did do a
For sure.
lot well for me.
Mhm.
It's something that I will watch again. I didn't even necessarily think about the religious thing too much until I started reading kind of or looking at kind of other kind of reviews and kind of what people were thinking about it, and I kind of saw that people did have a issue with that point because in my initial watch, I just kind of took it at face value of, it's a movie and kind of like you were saying, Billy, that, it's an interpretation. And, if it leads to questions within my kid, then, I can answer those questions. However, my household deems, we're going to answer those questions. So I didn't really think about it too much. So I wanted to ask you guys because I know that, you guys are, religious to a point also. So, I was just interested in what you guys thought about it.
That was a great question. A great question. The fact
Mhm.
that we even that's the thing, it's kind of not strange. It's just a different experience.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
where I could put it.
I feel that. Feel that. Ah, man.
Everybody gotta love everybody.
Hey, man. Love
Mhm.
all around, man. I don't care what language you speak.
Spread the
For
love.
sure. You're right. It's all one language, man.
I can't lie.
Great job, man. The trophy goes to you.
Oh, man. That's
Yes,
so
it
fun.
does.
So,
Yeah. So go ahead, man.
No, go
I
for
Mhm.
it.
don't know how to talk about this. I don't know how to talk about this. Is
Um,
this you took the
yeah,
test?
I took. I was
Both of
told to
them.
take two tests.
I
So
was
you
trying to
No,
took
get you
both
not.
I
tests.
took those tests.
And
So
Tim, you
for
took
those
yours, right?
listening,
Yeah, I did. Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay.
not sure exactly how this even came up. But we thought it would be. How did it come up? Do we know?
We were talking
I
about
think
different
a
things.
Okay,
friends have been
yeah,
telling me about it. We're just talking about it, and I'm very interested. I just want to experience more in life, be present, live, see what people
yeah.
are talking about instead of shunning something. See what it's about. See what I can learn from it.
Oh yeah. So we have what is the five love languages?
Yes.
Mm.
And we all went to the website. We took the test.
It's taken
There.
from the book The Five Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman.
Thank you,
We want
Timbo.
Okay.
to the accreditation.
Yeah, because
Uh-huh.
our thought is that we after taking this test we might actually have to read this. I got more. I
Yeah.
got follow up questions actually. You know, as I was sitting here going through this test, I was like, man, would I rather? You know, so it was just interesting just how it made me think. So
Yeah.
we went
Yeah.
we to the website and we took our individual test. On this website they do have multiple tests for well, they had singles and they had
For
couples.
couples.
I
Mm-hmm.
saw children on there. I didn't click that
Possible.
one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
so at the very least I took the singles and the couples. What did you guys take?
The
I took
singles.
singles.
Okay.
I'm not single, but I just took the singles. I didn't think about the couples one. I've been single. I ain't been coupled up too long, so still getting used
All
to
right.
it.
All right,
Yeah.
player. All right.
So
Did-
so it seems to be what five? Because I don't know much about this at all, so
Mhm.
I don't want to
Me
seem like,
neither. Me neither, bro.
Okay.
especially
I know.
listening, I don't seem like the end
I
all be
know
all at
nothing.
all. You can just ask my wife. So
So let
five
me
love
list the
languages,
five
right?
languages.
We got quality time,
Yes.
receiving gifts,
Uh huh.
physical touch,
Uh.
words of affirmation,
Mhm.
and acts of service.
Yes.
So those are the five. I don't know yet exactly what they mean. I mean, I have a idea of what they mean. I mean,
Mhm.
but I didn't read his definition of, what each one means. But we answered. How many questions would you guys say it was? I mean, it was a
25 to
More
30.
than
I would
20?
think.
yeah, yeah. So we answered a bundle of questions.
And to me, they would
Yeah.
seem like they were asking the same thing, just different ways.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
me
lot of
too.
either or. It was interesting because as I took it the second time, I was able to, because I took the couple one first, and then taking the singles one, I was able to attribute um qualities to each question. Like I was like, oh, that's an acts of service one probably, and oh, this is
Yeah.
probably a word of affirmation, or
Same.
no, this one talking about gifts. It seemed like all of them was talking about gifts. Like, you want some
Right.
gifts? Like
All
gifts?
of
Do you like gifts or no?
There's a lot of questions, dude. I didn't like either of the choices. None of
Right.
these would don't care. It
That
was
sounds
there
like
was
you.
more than a handful. Like I
He was
didn't
like,
no
I don't
no
care.
no no no
He like, is there a other?
Right.
no.
And they're like, do you want this gift or not?
Okay, so what I'm thinking, I just thought of this now. We didn't talk about this
Okay.
before, but what I'm wondering is, we kind of know each other a little bit. Should we try to guess what the top quality is in each other? I think that might be kind of
The
fun.
top quality.
Yeah, the top because it gave percentages,
Love
right?
language.
Yeah. Language. There we go. I'm call. See, I'm using the wrong vernacular. So
Where are they?
it's quality time,
Uh,
receiving gifts, physical
okay.
touch, words of
Uh-huh.
affirmation, and acts of
Okay.
service.
So you're asking which of
Yeah,
those fit
what?
you the most, or
Yeah, I
which
guess what you feel would be my
The top
top.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's my love language, Billy? Tell me.
oh man, this is tough.
Um,
Oh,
Tough actually.
oh,
Now that I'm actually
let
thinking
somebody
about
else
it.
go first, huh?
Um,
He said it is tough now that he's thinking about it.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So love language is like what you like to speak or how you like to be spoken to.
I think it's
That,
both.
oh, that's a good point. Um, I took it as how you show,
Your love.
yeah, how you show love and how you best receive, or how
Right.
you would best appreciate or receive. I think it's, yeah, more of a receive
So
thing, how
what
you kind of
question?
receive love, right?
So that's what you're asking in this moment. Which
I'm
one would you
asking what you
rather?
think the highest percentage was. Yeah.
Mhm.
What did you, when I
Um,
took the test, they told me that my love language was
Was Blake.
where are they? Where are they again? There's
quality
access
time,
service. Where's it? Uh huh.
receiving gifts, physical
Okay.
touch, words of affirmation, and acts of service.
Oh, I'm going to say it's between for you, acts of service. I gotta narrow this down. Acts of service, quality time, or
I like
no acts of
this.
service.
Let's say half the list.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't
Get
think I
all.
don't
You
think
got
it's
all of it.
gifts at all. I don't think it's gifts. You said, man, I'm gonna say acts of service.
that's funny. That's the
I'm
same
gonna
thing
say
my wife
that,
said.
but I just don't see. I don't see. I see. I say acts of service for quality time, man. But I can see you being by yourself and being fine. You don't need gifts. I think you could appreciate words of affirmation, but you don't need them because
Mm-hmm.
you could be by yourself for a long time. You
Mm-hmm.
could just be chill as long as you got your whatever you like to do. You're
Right.
good. Physical touch.
That's the final answer.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
go with.
For you, I think that you are quality time. I'm a guess
Okay.
that you are quality time.
Okay.
I think that Tim
I don't know
is.
what to give. All five. uh,
I want to say
I want to say quality time.
I wanted to say quality time or physical touch, but I kind of think it's I'm leaning towards quality time for Timbo.
I kind of am too. I
I'm gonna
really
say
think it's
physical
all of.
touch for Timbo.
I'm gonna say quality time.
I don't know anybody, so I can't make no guesses. But no, I could. I think for Ken, I I see acts of service, and I almost the same for Billy too. Acts of service and probably words of affirmation somewhere.
Yeah, I do see acts of service for Billy. That's the one I was going between acts of service and quality
Really?
time. Um, yes and no. I think you deserve acts of service, but you probably don't look for that because you're just a naturally giving person. So I don't think that you
Thank you.
naturally will look for that. Which is why
Mm,
I'm leaning towards quality time because with you being kind of more kind of you can be by yourself kind of. So in
yeah.
that, if you were to have somebody, you just kind of want them just to be with you, just kind of chill, just kind of be there, and somebody that you can kind of just move with and be able to focus with. So I'm thinking that you would be a quality time. Yeah, I think that
I
you'll be
feel
quality.
like I feel so bad because I don't know if that's because you know me so well or I just people can see that so well because this is how I've always been. I would be upset if I got yours wrong. I'm gonna be upset, man. But that's yeah, I'm definitely quality time for all of those reasons. Like everything else is cool, it's nice, I can appreciate it.
Hmm.
Quality time.
Okay. All right. Did everybody guess everybody's?
I
Yeah,
did.
just about.
Okay. Okay. So percentages. I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine was it was interesting. So I took the couple and the singles. They were just about the same.
Hmm.
My couples were quality time was
Okay.
33%. That was my highest one.
Okay.
Okay.
My second
32
highest was a tie between words of affirmation and acts of service.
I
And
feel like mine was like that too.
and then I
Dang.
had 13% for physical touch, and I actually had 0% for gifts.
How'd you get away with that, dude?
Right. So you don't want nothing. You
Because
don't ever want to get.
the way these questions, man, they were so bad. I was like, well, I would definitely rather have a gift than that. I don't want that.
I'm so
So I
over
had
it.
to answer.
You said I would
Yeah.
definitely want a gift from that.
Yeah, I would rather have a gift and hold your hand in public. Oh yeah, you better give me some.
No, no, hold your hand opposed. It was more so like acts of service. It was, would you rather receive something or have somebody do something for you?
Right. It was
Meaning
just the
that,
same. Yeah, that was basically the question.
but if I have to, I mean, I'd rather you give me a gift. Let me just do this. I'm gonna do this because sometimes I'm picky.
And
Yeah,
a lot of
Yeah,
it was like, would you appreciate if somebody helped you with something? And it's like, it's not that, for me, it's not that serious. Like, I
right.
it
don't
depends on.
necessarily have to help.
That's how I felt with some of them too, with the wording of it. It was like, would you
Yeah,
like this or would you like them to help you even though you know that they were busy? And I'm like, well,
Right,
if you're too busy, then I would rather the other thing. That's kind of how I
right.
was thinking it through.
right.
So, but what was y'all percentages? What was
Okay.
or did y'all write it down like that?
I took
I
a
did.
screenshot of mine.
Okay.
Okay.
What'd you get?
I,
Uh, so my biggest is, of course, quality time. Y'all are right about that.
There we
It
go.
was
wow.
37%. Uh,
37%.
yeah. And then I actually was tied at words of affirmation and receiving gifts for 20%. They both were 20% equally.
Okay.
And then we had physical touch that was 13%, and then acts of service was 10.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not write mine down. Not that you're saying this. It's so surprising because I just looked at the top one and I saw that the other ones down. I guess I was just I didn't. The questions were so not. I didn't really look at the results, man. I looked at them I'm like, okay, I see it, but I didn't look at it in as in percentages. I just looked at the top one and just
Okay. But quality
floated
time
off.
was your top one?
Quality time was my top one. I
Okay.
think that um, gifts might have been in the middle, physical touch and acts of service were towards the bottom, and what was the other one was kind of in second place. Words of affirmation was probably in second place, either
Okay.
second place or tied with something. I think I remember seeing a tie too.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very
So I
interesting.
guess then the question is, are we gonna read this book so we can actually figure out what this stuff means?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I'm down for reading the book.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with that.
Yes. Yep.
I like that. I
Yep.
thought it
I
was
want to
very
learn.
interesting. Yeah. I don't know what is. I barely know what the book is about. What do you guys want to learn from this book? I guess, but I guess besides what each thing is, I guess that's kind of what I want to learn. Is I guess the what each language actually means, and if there is a way that I can use my language to more easily interact with other languages
Right.
without. Yeah. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what I want to learn.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I think that
Well, I guess I need my wife to take it so I can figure out hers. And
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. I think that I would want to learn as much as I can so I can use all of them and have a balance, or at least try to understand the basis of them. Like the whole gift thing, I get it, but I wonder if there's a thin line between being materialistic and somebody giving you a gift, meaning, or you putting too much meaning on that. Some people can give you anything, they can say anything to you, and it can also be a lie, you know?
Right.
So it's why I just wonder how he defines these things and how I can use them to receive and give love, an effective love to the people I care about, and then to whoever I meet in a romantic setting. So learn as much as I can.
Ooh la la. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I feel the same. It's just I know quality time for me is pretty cut and dry, but I know about the love languages that my partner likes, so I'm gonna study those. But even though it was kind of
gotcha.
funny, I was already operating in quite a few of them. So
Okay.
no, that's interesting. That's
yeah,
probably what what brought you two together then. Just the
yeah,
unspoken ability to kind of, interact in that way.
right. So
Let's
looking
see.
forward to the book. Definitely, I will have to go on and order it on the ebook uh,
Yeah.
Me
in a
too.
little bit. So yeah,
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be
it
fun,
will.
man. I can't wait. How do you guys want to do it? You want to do like a chapter or two chapters? You
Um,
want to do the first chapter? So if anybody that wants to read with us, they can read.
yeah, that's true. We should probably try to figure out the best way to do it. How about we look at the book first? I don't know how meaty. Pause. I don't know. I don't know the length of each language.
Gotcha.
Because if it would, I just want to be like, how let's just take a language at a time. But
Right,
I
I
don't
think that's
know
true.
how in depth it is.
Okay.
But that's what I want to say is just language
I
at a
want
time.
to say. I want to suggest at least chapter one. That way, if anybody wants to read with us, they can cover chapter one, and we can get a feel how the book flows. So
Okay.
then, at that point, we can say, well, do we want to finish this love language for the next recording, or and do love languages, or is it better to chapter up into chapters?
Okay. I like that. So we'll start with chapter
Okay.
one or whatever the
Okay.
intro.
Yeah,
Probably got some kind of intro, then chapter one.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah.
awesome.
For sure.
I like it.
For sure, for sure.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Cool.
Who's next on our
So
agenda, fellas?
El Sombrero De Preguntas, man.
Oh
Oh
God, that the
man.
hat of questions.
Yeah.
See. Let's see what's in it.
So we're gonna just answer a random
I
question
love
from
this
this
hat,
hat,
dude.
y'all.
This is a special hat. My uncle, who's no longer alive, and my grandfather, who's no longer alive. I think my uncle went to Mexico and bought this from my granddad. I think they got matching ones. So this is
Oh,
a
that's
real
awesome.
sombrero. It's so awesome, man. History, man. Okay, what we got? Which is more important, justice or mercy?
Justice.
Hmm?
Mercy. I was gonna say mercy is my first thought, but
I'm gonna say mercy too, man, because justice it depends on who calling it justice.
I say mercy because I don't think that justice always makes you feel better. Like I
Hmm.
guess what's
Or changes to
justice?
you. Yeah.
It's like
So what if mercy is justice? I guess in some frames of mind.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess yeah, mercy unless justice is mercy, in which is still mercy.
Hmm.
I guess, or put it to you this way. Let's see if this works. Was at work. This dude was like going off on a security guard, called him like a B word, ready to fight. He just blew his top. I didn't know what was going on. Security guard makes his way in here and into the store, and he said, "Well, did y'all call about something?" And the dude is in there and said just inside our door while he's at our counter, or security guard's at our counter, and he's really still going off on this man and not calming down. And I said, no, dude, we didn't call anybody. There are people out there that are selling fake stuff, or at least just selling out in the mall, making the hustle
Mhm.
on. And you're not supposed to do it. It's hard to catch them. They thought we called. We didn't call them. But as I was talking to the security guard, I was telling them, well, yeah, we see him. We see him over there. That's where they kind of be, or they be over in that spot. But what you gonna do? It's only so many security guards. You can't really. They can find out where y'all at and go on the other side of the mall. Not a big deal. But the guy just happened to be standing in front of our door, so I'm
Mhm.
pointing in his direction, and he just like ticked him off some more. What he was doing, he was getting some other business taken care of at a kiosk. A person they can personalize your gifts or whatnot,
Mhm.
right outside our store, and the security guard thought that he was one of the guys selling, soliciting this product out of his
Mhm.
bag. He was just getting some stuff personalized. And I guess the security guard, or he felt the security guard didn't approach him in the right way. Dude was going off. He came to the store. Was like, well, dude, what's wrong with you? It kind of brought the problem to me. Like, was you pointing at me and blah, blah, blah,
Oh
this, blah, blah.
no.
Man, trust me, man, it's good. I'm all for
Mhm.
diffusing. I'm all for peace. You know what I mean? I'll explain it
Right.
to you. You don't have to be upset because it's really not about you, or at least I don't know nothing. He just came in here to me. Whatever
Right.
happened before that, I don't know nothing about that. Either way, dude's still going on, still going off. And I just happened to be with a coworker, and we were working. After he left, we started talking, and he said, "You know what? It's messed up. You didn't have to act like that. He but you don't know what's going on in people's lives. So we just let it go, kept it moving, trying not to. There's really been a bunch of, I think, tests for me to strengthen how I hold my energy because that energy is very easily transferable. And even
Mhm.
though you may not be mad, sometimes it's just a little uncomfortable. It just kind of rubs you the wrong way. And
Mhm.
trying to let it go, eventually let it go. It is what it is. And the dude walked back in here, and he walked back in to apologize, and we thought that was amazing. And people like us, we just wanted to make him feel comfortable and forgiven, and like it wasn't a big deal, because that's what's effective. That's what I mean
Mm-hmm.
by mercy being a type of justice. He was like, man, it's just been a lot of stuff going on. I really didn't mean to do that. I'm all about God. So this tattoo
Mm-hmm.
had a tattoo of God on him, and I guess that day could have been just a really, really, really bad day for him, and he
Right.
just blew up. But I was so thankful that he was the type of person to come in and apologize, just so that we can have that exchange and let them know, man, it's all good. I
Right.
understand. It's cool. I hope you have a better day and a better week. You know what I mean? If
Mm-hmm.
I see you tomorrow, have a great day.
Right. You
That kind of thing.
and that's interesting because even in taking that story, um, another reason I would say choose mercy over justice. Say if in this guy's head, say if he did really feel slighted, you know, in his head, justice would be whatever it would be, retaliation
Right.
on,
Yeah.
but it's misconceived at that point, So even in his situation, him doing the just thing would have been unjust because he don't know the whole situation, or the situation is kind of taken out of context. So even
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, him choosing mercy, saying, you know what, I'm not going to even do X, Y, and Z. I'm just going to let bygones be bygones. Even though he's wrong, him choosing mercy is right. You know what I mean? At least in that
Yeah.
kind of topic, at least in my eyes.
I
So
got you.
it's interesting.
Isn't it? And so I wonder what's the flip side to mercy when mercy fails us. You know,
Justice.
I mean,
that's
I
got to be
mean, mercy
sometimes.
does though. I mean, if you look at when mercy fails us, then you got mercy versus justice, right? Is would it be fair to also say that's like a Malcolm and Martin kind of thing?
Yeah.
uh, I think I get where
Uh,
you're going, but Malcolm and Martin. I mean, without more clarification, Malcolm and Martin are like really bigger ideas.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
With different motivators. You know, and different. What they were trying to establish was about something that I think it's just a little too specific for this type of,
Because I
not
was, yeah.
vague, but all encompassing idea.
Well, okay, I guess what I'm kind of thinking is that the people who tend to think mercy have a certain mindset that
Okay.
people who tend to think justice, in my opinion, don't necessarily have. And
I
if you
got you. I
look
see.
at certain situations, it seems like a justice mentality may get you more than a mercy mentality.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
That's true. Say no.
Hmm.
and not to say that it's right though. I mean, I guess you asked, is it right or
Which
wrong? I don't
one's
know.
more important? It's just which one's more important. Do we think is more important?
I don't know. It's probably one of those scales of justice thing, man, where you kind of got to have one to
Wow.
offset the other, because what's justice without mercy, and then what's mercy without justice?
So it's got its balance.
I like
So it's a
that.
trick question, is what you're saying.
I mean, isn't
My
most of
bad.
those questions like that? Like,
I ain't mean to trick you. My bad, man. I'm sorry.
uh, doggone sombrero.
It's a good question, though, man. It's a good conversation. Any last words? Anybody want to say anything?
Justice. Say no.
Man. Let me see. Last words for the people. Man, yo, it's 2020 was crazy.
It was.
Everybody
Yeah,
out
man.
there, and I know that everybody, we kind of went through 2020 kind of hoping that 2021 would be better. And if anybody out there is going through anything kind of like in my inner circle, 2021 may not be going the best for you, but keep your head up, stay strong. It's gonna get better. Don't let it stop your grind. Don't let it stop your shine. Just stay positive, man. It's so easy just to fall into the negativity, especially with that one, because it for my personal circle, it was like, oh, 2021, boom, 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 But we ain't gonna let that stop us. And if it's anybody listening that's going through the same thing, man, just keep going, man. Keep grinding, and we gonna make it through it together.
For sure.
Heard.
Um, I want to piggyback off on that, man. 2020 was a crazy year, even though it had its down moments. It had a pretty good, some dope up moments for me. After watching Soul, something set in. Right at the tail end of 2020, there was a song that came out that a friend and I worked on. Not the original version, but it was a remix. It's a remix from some guys, I believe, from Venezuela. that Pat, his name is Pat. Pat had done some work with, had a relationship with, and they did a remix of a song that I helped write. I wrote the hook, and the remix is mostly the hook. And I had a chance to be aware of the fact that I made some music. I helped make some music
Mm,
that affected somebody countries away.
that's
Even
crazy.
though I put so much pressure on trying to make money from it so that I can start to live my life, you know, the whole story kind of it was so that I just forget that I forget that I'm doing what I am doing, even though I'm not making money from it. I'm doing what I love to do. They made some music that can touch some other people. Something that I made with my friends in my basement.
That is dope.
It's like touch somebody and not touch somebody, just move somebody, inspired somebody in another
Right.
country.
That's crazy.
That's my life.
That's awesome.
That's so cool, man. So don't forget about the little things. Don't forget about perspective. Uh, and like you said, man, just keep going, keep pushing. Tim, anything?
I mean, I don't think it's much to be said after that. Honestly, I was like,
Okay.
but yeah, it's just definitely stay up, stay positive, stay informed. But for me, I have to be realistic about how much information I'm taking in. It can be a bit much, so I have to pace it. But
No, I
stay
feel
informed,
that.
but don't let it take your peace. That's
Hmm.
Okay.
and that's on
For
Mary
sure.
Had a Little Lamb.
For sure. Shameless plug. The song is called Selfish by Sir Diamond, Pat Posen, and Billy Famous on all streaming services. Thank you all for tuning in. If you like the show,
Thank you.
please let us know. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Black Top, it's not closed. Peace.
Peace.